fractured our people.
All right, kid. Hang on. You ready for an adventure?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is The Way. This will be my Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5 trailer video. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs and references, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm doing videos for all the episodes. Be sure to subscribe to get them. Some of the new footage here could be from other episodes in the future because both Marvel and Star Wars do this weird thing with all their trailers for episodes mixing footage from all the episodes together sometimes, as opposed to HBO for their episode trailers where you just usually get footage from that one particular episode. But there's a lot of new footage of the pirates, maybe flashbacks to Mandalore before the Purge, maybe for some more Bo-Katan backstory, a ton more footage of the Armors group fighting Gorian Shard's pirates on Navarro, more footage of Mando dogfighting his pirate ships in his cruiser, some new footage of Carson Teva coming back from previous seasons, and what looks like more footage of Elia Kane, Moff Gideon's former comms officer, with a special cameo from Tim Meadows in the background here. Just starting with the end of Episode 4, that episode was mostly about Bo-Katan and Grogu becoming more active parts of the Armor's covert, integrating with the covert in a bigger way. Bo-Katan helping them by save Ragnar, the heavy infantryman Paz Vizsla's son, and bringing them those 3 winged raptors. Cannot wait to see Grogu tame them and then ride one of them once they get big enough. I could definitely picture Grogu flying around on one of their backs. And Grogu starting his training to become a Mandalorian, like the Armorer recognizing his quest to become a Mandalorian, or at least implying that that's where he's headed. Katie Sackhoff talked a little bit more about Bo-Katan joining the Armorer's covert too. She said her Night Owls had deserted her. Those were meant to be like her family to Bo-Katan. They left her after she didn't return with the Darksaber, so according to her, at the time they didn't view her as a worthy leader yet. So keyword here is yet. I think the whole storyline with the Mythosaur and the Armor not believing her, and her not thinking at the moment that she is a worthy leader. Katie Sackhoff said that, like, at the moment, Bo-Katan doesn't think that she is worthy to lead all Mandalorians, which is why when she was talking to the Mando initially, she kind of threw that in his face, like, go, take the Darksaber, wave it in their face, they'll do whatever you say. As if she had given up caring about being a leader. So I think the idea with her character is becoming a worthy leader. Also, it helped a little bit that Grand Admiral Thrawn had blown up her family's ancestral palace, or what seemed like Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces. Katie Sackhoff said that she was looking for family. She lost that when the Night Owls took off, and now she's slowly becoming kind of like a space mom to Grogu and joined the family that is the Armor's covert, Mando's family, basically. Space mom and space dad gonna take care of the child. I make a lot of jokes about her and Mando eventually getting it on, but I don't actually think there's going to be any of those kind of shenanigans this season. I think all the stuff Katie Sackhoff has talked about with her and Grogu and her being kind of motherly towards him, growing to care about him the same way that Mando cares about him. She hasn't given anything away about any potential romantic entanglements between her and Mando. You just see some of the weird tension between the two of them, like they have a lot of chemistry together. You just see more moments like that. The whole thing with Grogu's storyline, a lot of people wondered about this, like, will he eventually wear a helmet? Because the Armorer was talking to him about that, Mando talked about it before his big fight, like he won't wear the helmet until he's old enough to speak the creed, and he's not old enough yet. Even though it does seem like he's been trying to talk, just using their native language, Yoda's species' native language. But the Armorer gave him his chest plate because he won that fight with the Mudhorn on it, which is the symbol of Mando's family, basically, like she even told him, you are as his father now. Long term, I think his arc is similar to Bo-Katan's in that he completes more Mandalorian training, like he integrates more with the covert, doing more and more what they're supposed to be doing when they become Mandalorians according to their customs. And when it actually comes time for him to speak the creed and wear a helmet, like by that time, whether that happens in a future season or further beyond, it'd be kind of like what happened with Luke Skywalker training at his Jedi Academy, where he was forced to choose a path, and choosing not to become a Jedi, choosing Mando over becoming a Jedi. The important thing about that too is Luke Skywalker specifically said choosing a path with Mando, not choosing a path to become a Mandalorian. One of the major overarching themes of the season, and just the Mandalorian series in general, however many seasons it winds up running, is that you have a lot of different factions of Mandalorians, like the Armored's faction, the Night Owls, and none of them agree with what they should be doing, what their customs, what their culture is. The Armors group is like the most hardcore version of Mandalorians, like old school Mandalorians. So eventually what sounds like is going to happen is the Armor will give him the choice, like either you become a Mandalorian, now you take the creed, you wear a helmet, or you choose a different path. He will probably wind up choosing a different path, like I don't think that he's actually going to wear one of those helmets. For those of you asking, his ears would probably stick out like this, like it would be a special helmet that would fit his type of head if he were to wear a helmet. As cute as that does look. And it'd be kind of like this for Bo-Katan as well too, where even though technically she's already following all the rules, like she's already wearing her helmet full time now, they had that moment with the Armor where it seems like she's not totally on board, like I saw a mythosaur, the Armor didn't want to believe her. So I think part of the idea is that deep down, Bo-Katan ultimately will believe that they should be doing different things, following a slightly different path that's different from what the Armor thinks they should be doing. So eventually, she will also probably have to leave their group too. And it'd be kind of like an Ahsoka type of twist. Like Ahsoka left the Jedi Order to forge her own path through the Force, and it'd be the same for Bo-Katan, for Grogu, and maybe even Mando himself too. Because Grogu's whole thing in leaving the Jedi Academy was to choose a path to be with Mando. So ultimately, it sounds like the three of them, at least, will become a sort of family unit, even if they all wind up having to leave the Armor's covert. But I'm not expecting them to completely pay that off this season. Like, I don't think they're all going to bail on the Armor's covert this season. They're still trying to unite all Mandalorians. That's Bo-Katan's ultimate goal. So part of this is finding the common ground between all the different Mandalorian factions. We might get some more of Bo-Katan's backstory because the ship here flying towards what looks like a flashback to Mandalore before the Great Purge is the same ship that she flies. It might just be more backstory we're getting that we didn't see of her during Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. Katie Sackhoff also said that there's a lot of untold history for Bo-Katan that she talks about with Dave Filoni on the regular. Like, she's always asking him questions about her childhood, like what was Bo-Katan doing before she actually became a soldier. If we get some flashbacks for her, maybe we'll get some more references to Duchess Satine too. All the footage of them fighting the pirates on Navarro though seems like they're dropping out of Bo-Katan's ship, so it's her leading another mission, which I think is just another step on her path to becoming a worthy leader. This is the same hangar bay you saw Mando jumping out of using his jetpack. It sounds like Gorian Shard makes good on his threat to return and wreak havoc on Navarro as punishment for what happened in Episode 1, with Mando and Greef Karga killing a couple of their men, basically giving him the middle finger. It was meant to be a challenge, setting up a bigger conflict later in the season. It's probably this conflict. Navarro is also a much richer place, becoming one of the major hubs in the Hydian Way, which is a huge deep cut for the Clone Wars and some of the Legends canon. It's one of the major trade routes in the galaxy, so all the big ports that are part of this get much richer from all the trade passing through. That's why Gorian Shard would care about controlling this planet. The new footage of Elia Kane has her in her New Republic uniform. She's looking kind of sus. I'm not sure who Tim Meadows is supposed to be. Zoom in and enhance, you see him in the background here. The last we saw of her in Episode 3, she had cranked the neuralizer way up to mess with Dr. Pershing's mind, and likely causing him to forget what she'd been doing this whole time and trapping him so he wouldn't remember her after the fact. All so that she could continue her probably true mission infiltrating the New Republic and freeing Moff Gideon from whatever deep dark Guantanamo Bay style prison that they're keeping him in. Because one of the next big things in the Imperial storyline is revealing what's actually going on with Moff Gideon, confirming that he's still in prison. Because if you remember in Episode 3, all the former Imperials were joking about what actually happened to him because nobody actually knew the truth.
I heard he escaped en route to the War Tribunal.
No, that was just a cover story. I heard they hooked him up to a mind flayer.
I try not to think about him anymore.
The way they talked about it, it sounds like Moff Gideon is meant to have disappeared on his way to a New Republic war tribunal, and I think the idea is the New Republic, which they portrayed as being kind of shady during Episode 3, like they made them seem as if they weren't that much better than the Empire. They probably bypassed the official channels and just threw him in a Guantanamo Bay style prison, where they're trying to rake him over the coals, getting more information on the remnants of the Empire, like what else is going on there, what other forces do you have? And they have to continue teasing Thrawn. I'm not expecting to get a ton of big answers about Thrawn yet, just more teasers that he's out there with the 7th Fleet rebuilding his forces, but his storyline is meant to be connected to Moff Gideon's. So early theory, Elia Kane is actually working for Thrawn, doing this long con, trying to get him out of prison, pretending to be on the New Republic side, throwing Dr. Pershing under the bus so that she'll win commendations and win her way closer to where they're holding Moff Gideon or be able to get closer to him. Break him out of prison and he can rejoin Thrawn. The only other huge things that they don't show you in the trailer here are what's going on with Ahsoka and Carson Teva, who we know are supposed to come back this season. In the earlier trailers, you heard Carson Teva warning Mando about something dangerous happening in the Outer Rim. That's probably part of the larger Thrawn storyline. Beware of giant fleets of TIE fighters, TIE interceptors, and TIE bombers out there. When Ahsoka comes back, she might also have Sabine Wren with her. It would be cool to get a teaser for her in live action, because we saw some footage of her in the Ahsoka trailer, which I did a video for last year, but they didn't release it publicly. We're supposed to get the official Ahsoka trailer at Star Wars Celebration, so of course I'll do more videos for it when it does drop. But they're meant to be picking up where Star Wars Rebels left off in live action, so they'll do a version of this scene in live action. There's also rumors that the Ahsoka episodes will pull a House of the Dragon twist with a major time jump halfway through the series, even though it's going to be the same actors. They're not going to be switching actors or anything like that. If you spotted any other Easter eggs or references in the footage that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments, and if you have any requests for bonus videos before Episode 5 posts. Everyone click here for all my Mandalorian Season 3 episode videos, and click here for my new Thrawn video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. This is the way.